What's going on, guys? As always, welcome to 13th Planet. I'm your leader, Jason X. Today I'm going to be reviewing Empathy Inc. This is a 2018 sci-fi thriller. I won't be getting into too much of the little details of this movie, and if you stick around till the end, you will find out why. So as always, let's get into our recap and our review. So our movie starts with Joe and his wife Jessica going to the in-laws. This is Jessica's side of the family. It appears that they will be staying with the in-laws temporarily. They all sit down for a nice dinner. Jessica explains how they had to sell all their furniture and get out of town fast. The in-laws want to know a little bit about GTI and the company that Joe worked for previously, and if all the bad things that they heard about Joe was true or not. We then get a flashback of some of the events that took place before when Joe was employed there. Joe finds out that his business partner Craig faked a lot of the results of their business, and as a result, Joe's reputation and the company are going to be exposed to the public. Joe visits Craig and they brainstorm how they're gonna save the company. Greg explains that he had a partner earlier on in the business venture, and that guy was shady as fuck too, and not doing things by the book. Cutting corners, things like that. If this ain't the story of every other business in America, damn shame. Anyways, Greg explains that he was lying, buying himself time so that he can make the process work. He's been working on the project for over 12 years with no sign of success. Joe wants him to continue to lie about the results so that he can keep his comfy job and new house. We then flash back to the dinner where the in-laws finish up with a bunch of rude comments, making it awkward. Joe gets the step in for a drink and he runs into a guy he once knew called Sleazy Beezy. Let's take a quick break here. Joe has a shady business partner who before Joe had an even shadier business partner, and when Joe finds out that Craig lied to him, Joe tells Craig to continue to lie, and now he's talking to an old friend called Sleazy Beezy. You dumb, Joe. You dumb. Dumb as fuck. Onward. Sleazy Beezy tries to convince Joe to invest in a new company, Empathy Inc., where they sell virtual experiences. He goes on to explain this is more than a virtual reality. It's touch, taste, smell, feel. They give the rich the experience of being underprivileged. Thus the empathy part. Wait. Is this fucking
Call recall for the memory of a lifetime.
For the memory of a lifetime. Recall, recall, recall.
Anyways, Joe then goes home and tries to pitch his wife the idea and wants to get Jessica's dad to invest $1 million.
$1 million!
Gentlemen! She tells him no, but of course he goes behind her back and convinces his dad to invest. Sleazy Beezy takes Joe to meet Lester Cooper, the founder of Empathy Inc. They strap Joe in for a test drive of the virtual reality system. Lester gives him a couple rules and a big ass injection, and we are in. The session is short and simple and very real. He woke up in another body, in a tiny room with nothing more than a mattress, a bedroom, 2 windows, and a black cat. When he wakes up, they ask him if he liked the black cat. Wait, this is motherfucking me.
Oh, deja vu.
What did you just say?
Nothing, just had a little deja vu.
What did you see?
What happened?
A black cat went past us, and then another that looked just like it.
How much like it? Was it the same cat?
Anyways, Joe wakes up feeling like Peter Parker walking down the street in Spider-Man 3. Totally convinced in the virtual reality experience. When Joe tries to go back the next day, but Beezy kicks him out and says, hey, all you're here to do is collect your money, and when we start to make it, you'll get it. Other than that, we don't want you to come back here. So, smart Joe, he steals Beezy's access key, breaks into the virtual reality lab, and goes on a solo ride. Same kind of room, different body, He goes exploring. He actually leaves the building this time. He ends up looking in the mirror, which is one of the rules, one of the big no-nos that Lester told him about. He wakes up from that. Another awkward dinner later. He's at the in-laws. This time Jessica's mother tells Joe that she saw him yelling at a homeless lady the other day. And Joe has no memory of this whatsoever. No memory at all. Joe picks up the newspaper and sees the picture of the suspect who's been committing crimes. It's the same guy he saw when he looked at himself in the mirror in the virtual reality experience. So curious about this newspaper article, Joe breaks back into the lab, hacks VZ's computer, and finds a bunch of client names and all their account information. Joe escapes and texts good old sleazy VZ that he wants out and he wants his investors' money back. Joe tries to blackmail VZ with the clients' names, but VZ shows Joe a video of himself, Joe, killing the homeless woman with a baseball bat. And again, Joe has no memory of this. VZ explains that when somebody goes into the virtual reality system, they are actually swapping bodies. Joe then goes back home, grabs his gun and some handcuffs so he can take matters into his own hands. He goes to the lab, but it's already been packed up. He finds the new lab somehow in a small apartment building. He finds Lester, straps him into the seat, and swaps bodies with him. Now, keep in mind, Joe is not in his body, he's in Lester's, so he goes to meet up Sleazy VZ. He forces VZ to wire the money back to his family and delete the video of the murder. Joe kills VZ and heads back to the lab. However, he arrives and finds that Lester has escaped and left him a letter saying, "Have fun being me, asshole. See you never." Joe goes to his wife and explains everything. I'm very surprised she believes him, and with his, believes his whole crazy story and his new body. His wife wants to fuck immediately after a short conversation, and at this point I'm just questioning her character. She's a closet freak. Turns out Lester switched bodies with Jessica. Jessica is in Joel's body, Joel is in Lester's body, and Lester is in Jessica's body. Lester gets to work to reverse everything. As everyone gets back into their body, Lester kills Jessica. Joel kills Lester. In a final attempt to save Jessica, Joel switches bodies with her, and that's all she wrote. So this movie was filmed in black and white. Maybe it was my own fault, but I assumed that I was in for some smart, artistic movie because of that. At least maybe something visually striking. This movie was none of that. The only good thing I could say about this movie is that it had a slight different plot twist from other virtual reality movies. The whole switching body thing, clever. Unfortunately, there's far more things that I did not like about this movie, so let's talk about some of those. Right off the bat, you have no character development. None of the characters are really likable. I mean, they all just seem dull, empty, and dumb. So you have zero investment to these characters. As I mentioned before, there was no scenes that stuck out, nothing that threw you back, nothing that really was interesting, nothing memorable. A lot of details were put in this movie for no reason other than filler to the story. Dealing with the virtual reality and the mind, tricking the mind, I found myself trying to pay attention to every little detail, thinking that it would somehow come back, towards the end or something. In some way, there would be a cool, something pieced together to blow my mind, but nothing. I was disappointed at that. And last, there was no surprise in this movie at all. The movie is set up in such a way that it basically hints to what's to come. I was able to predict the movie every step of the way, leaving everything just seeming bland. I mean, the foreshadowing it almost seemed to be done on purpose with no payoff. And piggybacking off of that, I did watch this movie on Shudder. The picture, the icon that they show is of Jessica dead in the virtual reality chair. That was another giveaway. I tried and I wish I had more positive things to say about this movie, but unfortunately, I don't. I gave this movie a 3 out of 10. I would recommend this movie to my worst enemy, and I definitely won't be watching it again. So hopefully I saved you guys some time. Don't waste your time watching this movie. But as always, thank you guys so much for joining me on this video. I will have another video for you guys coming soon. If you have any movie requests or just want to reach out and talk, you can reach me at Jason13Planet. As always, please like and share this video if you enjoyed. Please subscribe. Join me next week on 13th Planet, where it's a world of possibilities.